What is the best shotgun for a new gun owner or someone on a tight budget? Get a Remington 870 or Mossberg 500 and call it a day. I agree, those are two wonderful choices that you can't go wrong with. However, there are still a ton of shotguns that seem to get positive, negative, or even mixed reception from gun owners in person and online. So it got me thinking, since there are so many options for shotguns nowadays, why don't you let Wubba Bubba rank them in a brief tier list style video to get you on the right path of shotgun ownership for a cheap price? So what will I designate as a budget or cheap shotgun? I think the $500 range and under is a good starting point. This list will be a mixture of individual guns, groups of alike shotguns, and manufacturers. I should also clarify and say that I don't own most shotguns on this list because I'm not some type of rich gun tuber. However, I believe I know a good amount to give an opinion on many of these picks since I do binge watch gun reviews on YouTube a lot. If you disagree with my picks, that's fine too. My opinion isn't the gospel. This is meant to be a fun video in hopes of getting others a jump start on researching their first or next shotgun. Okay, and now onto the tier list. D tier. D tier is a failing grade. I would stay away from any weapon discussed in this category. Generic Turkish pump shotguns. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. These shotguns always have a visually appealing furniture compared to other shotguns on this list, but upon a closer look, the furniture tends to be pretty cheap. A lot of these shotguns are the exact same shotgun internally, being under different names and importers. Don't get me even started about reliability. If you just watch any video, read an article, or comment from the internet, you will find a sleuth of problems from broken firing pins, failures to feed, and parts falling off the shotgun. So why do these guns sell so damn well? It's just because they are recommended by people who don't shoot every day. Unlike gun tubers who do 1,000-round reviews on popular firearms, most gun owners don't fire thousands of rounds through their firearms. Some just view it as a tool that they occasionally use. I doubt a lot of hunting rifles or shotguns have seen more than 100 rounds in their lifetime, so when people recommend a cheap shotgun to others, they base it on the few rounds they put through it every year. Combine that with the dirt cheap price and that's why you see these things clog up shelves at gun stores. Stay as far away as you can from these actual garbage rods. Generic Turkish semi-auto shotguns. One of the biggest pitfalls of new gun owners, these budget guns scream badass and look like something used from a video game or a gun John Wick would use. They usually ape the look of an AK, an AR-15, a generic bullpup rifle, or a Benelli M4. They have the same cons as the previously mentioned Turkish pump shotguns, but jam way more since a semi-auto action is way harder to pull off when the gun is less than $200. The only reason it's higher on the list over Turkish pump shotguns is that some people do hit the jackpot and get a somewhat functional shotgun. Still, they come with a lot of caveats, like being very picky with their ammo type, most virtually not cycling low power loads like some birdshot, and awful ergonomics. It just isn't worth the gamble. Getting a decent semi-auto shotgun requires having a bigger budget. Just save up for one of Mossberg or Beretta's offerings and never look back. TriStar. TriStar is known as a cheap brand with most of their offerings being from Turkey. However, some of their products range from mediocre to okay, which is an actual step up from the other crap Turkey pumps out to the US gun market. Even if you somehow get a reliable shotgun, whether it's one of their over and unders, pump, or semi-autos, it will still have a subpar build, even a crappy trigger. The biggest benefit of TriStar over other Turkish shotguns is, like most of the guns on the rest of this list, has a customer service team. Now, is the TriStar customer service good? Well, that even seems to be poor, and you are better off buying another gun. If you must have a TriStar product, their over and under double barrel shotguns have had a lot more positive feedback than their other offerings. But in my opinion, I would still stay clear of any TriStar product. C tier. C tier is to proceed with extreme caution. There can be a tiny gem in a mine shaft full of coal, but I wouldn't recommend mining for it most of the time. Stoeger. Stoeger is in the same ballpark as TriStar, but has a better reputation than them. They offer pump shotguns, double barrels, and semi-autos imported from, you guess it, Turkey. Their double barrel offerings like the Stoeger Condor have gained a pretty decent following since it's pretty hard to mess up such a simple design and are to my knowledge the best over and unders at the price range of $450. Currently, its most popular offering is a Benelli clone under the name Stoeger M3000. It however has a mixed reputation, with some describing it as gaining decent reliability after a break-in period or completely failing in every regard. That goes for the rest of their inventory, very hit or miss. Again, like TriStar, their over and under offerings have had a more positive reception. Kel-Tec KS7. This shotgun is such a mixed bag. It can be incredibly reliable, then not. You either have some guy telling you he put several hundred rounds with minimal problems, and another telling you it became too unreliable after a couple boxes of buckshot. Kel-Tec is known for its innovative designs through copious amounts of crushed up mentats, but turning out a consistent product isn't. Still gonna give them props for trying to make an innovative shotgun when most guns released today are boring re-releases of decade-old guns. I will give props also to the people who buy this. Most people buy this as a fun range toy, not as a serious self-defense tool. Mossberg Shockwave Remington TAC-14. These aren't technically shotguns, but legally firearms, thanks to dumb laws on the books that even anti-gun countries don't have. Anyway, these two shotguns can be had at around the $500 price range, so I'm pushing the budget shotgun narrative a little bit, but who cares? They have a shorter barrel than most shotguns, and as reliable as other guns in the A tier list. So if it's reliable, why is it stuck in the C tier? There's only one reason they're stuck in C tier. You are stuck with the included grip and can't switch it out for a stock, unless you want to shell out a $200 tax stamp to the government. Not having another comfortable point of contact hampers the usability of the gun, and videos of people trying to shoot this thing prove it. For a first shotgun, I think it's a terrible choice. B tier. B tier is for decent guns. Simple as. They might have a couple of smaller problems, but hey, as long as it works, who cares when it's such a good price? ATI Nomad. Here's a shotgun I do have experience with. The ATI Nomad is just a simple Turkish single barrel shotgun that folds in half so it can be very convenient to transport around. Very simple design, it's pretty lightweight, but you kind of feel that in the recoil. Pretty decent build, a heavy hammer, and a trigger pull that's kind of garbage. I've only put a couple of boxes of shot shells through it, so I can't speak on its long-term reliability. I saw a guy complaining about the grip coming off after 50 rounds. Other than that, I haven't seen anyone else complain that much about this gun. I would love to put 100 rounds of random 12 gauge loads in a day and see how it holds up. Let me know if you're interested in that, by the way. Now, the reason I have it this high up on the list is because this can be had brand new under $100 street price. This one, however, I picked up that was used for $60. Yes, $60. Less than a brand new video game. Is it boring? Yeah. Should you get one? If you want to LARP as a poor career from the Fallout New Vegas, yeah, sure. Stevens 320. Savage produces a pretty well-received shotgun under the Stevens brand. Stevens Model 320s are pretty basic pump-action shotguns based on the Winchester Model 1300. There are a lot of variants to choose from in the $250 range. Some are pretty basic, while some are more catered for self-defense, so there's probably a model for you. The biggest upsides that they are surprisingly have a smooth slide for their price and are generally reliable. The only con is you still get what you pay for. It's a basic shotgun. But I can say pretty confidently, this is a shotgun you should do some research on. A tier. Anything in A tier is a no-brainer. You guys could argue the placement, but all of these shotguns are fantastic options and are worthy of their price point. Used shotguns. If you can get over the fact that your gun was pre-owned before you bought it, you open yourself up to a lot more fantastic deals, especially shotguns. Mossberg or Remington models just out of your price range can be snagged at a nice discount. I love expanding my shotgun collection with older designs that have been out of circulation. Case in point, this is a Remington Model 31. It's a 16 gauge. And it's a nice gun. I got this used for, I think, around the $200 range. I'll see if I can put up on screen if I can remember if I can find the exact amount. But no problem. This gun functions so well. I've had zero problems with this. There are, however, a couple of downsides I can think of. Number one is that you really have to inspect the shotgun before purchasing it, so you don't get left with a heavy paperweight. Number two, a lot of used weapons tend to be older models of shotguns not produced anymore, so it kills the aftermarket support. Other than that, and a couple of other minor things, it feels great to find a great deal, and I highly recommend scouring pawn shops or gun stores for a bargain. Maverick 88. If your budget is within the $200 range and you don't want to spend a penny more, this is the shotgun for you. The American-made Mossberg Maverick 88 is based on a Mossberg 500 but simplified with a blued finish, cheap furniture, crossbolt safety, polymer trigger guard, and a lack of upgradability compared to the 500 and 590. Besides them being cheap, why is it an A tier? It's just because their reliability track record of these shotguns is phenomenal, even surviving a 500 round torture test from James Reeves. The perfect shotgun for a beginner that you won't feel too bad roughing it up since the Maverick 88 can take it and your wallet can take it too. Winchester SXP. The Winchester Model SXP is a pretty great pick and one of the better shotguns to come out of Turkey. Lots of versions to choose from and they just work. The most popular model of the SXP happens to be one of the cheapest, the SXP Defender. The only gripe I see from owners online is that the safety is placed at the front of the trigger guard. Other than that, it has received widespread praise for being a worthy replacement for the Winchester Model 1300. Benelli Nova. Are you a Counter-Strike fan and want to say you own a gun from the game? Well, here you go. The Benelli Nova is overlooked more than it should be because it's a great shotgun. The Nova is constructed of a polymer furniture and is probably one of the most rugged plastic furnitures on the market, especially at its price range where it's commonly found under the $450 price mark. And maybe if you're extra lucky, you may be able to snag a Benelli Supernova for under $550 too. Other things it does well, even over the other big contenders, is being able to chamber 3.5-inch shot shells and its internal parts being very resistant to the elements. Mossberg 500 or 590 and the Remington 870. To no one's surprise, these two legends are still at the top of their game and are pushing the definition of cheap shotgun a little bit, but they are honestly the best option for any budget. Either one of these are fantastic shotguns, and what can be said about them that hasn't already been said a million times? Just research these two guys. So, which one is better though? I have to give the edge to the Mossberg 500 since the newly produced Remington 870s have seen some quality control hiccups due to the recent chaotic history of bankruptcies, transfer of ownership, and other reasons. If you want a brand new shotgun, I would look at the 500 series or save a little bit more and buy a 590. If you want to save money and buy a used gun, a slightly older Remington 870 will do you just fine. They are built to last. So that was my budget shotgun tier list. Hopefully you enjoyed this brief video and used this as a stepping stone to adding a fantastic shotgun to your collection. Reminders to still do your research online. Always consult multiple points of view instead of one video review. Heck, go to an indoor gun range or gun shop and just ask to handle a shotgun model you've been eyeing. I've done that hundreds of times to get just if I wanted to plop my hard-earned dollars for a gun. Okay, I think I've rambled long enough. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, this is Wubba Bubba, signing off again.